Okay, guys, episode 3, and this might be the last episode I do tonight. hmm. uh, I'm on call tonight, so I might get called in anytime after, well, the next 5 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and try to wrap this up as quick as possible. Uh, so I just finished up episode 3. Uh, this was a little bit more interesting than the last episode because I get to see two of my favorite characters, and that's Mermaid and Beast Man. I always thought these two characters were pretty cool, even in the 80s episode, even though they're more of a dunce and a hindrance to Skeletor, because they always messed stuff up. But I even liked Trap Joe a lot in the 80s cartoon because he could switch out his guns and whatnot, even though some of his attachments were kind of lame, but or they never worked when they needed to work. But let's go with my complaints. Well, before I do my complaint, let me go to the things I did like about this episode, and that was towards the middle of the episode, Duncan comes in and he fights off Merman's henchman. That was a pretty cool scene. And I will say this, I do like this version of Duncan better than the 80s version. He does more stuff so far, and he really shows how much of a pretty cool character he is. So, but aside from that, this is a pretty boring episode. To be honest, they could have put episode 2 and episode 3 together in one episode, to be honest, because both of them brought little to the story. But first off, we get another flashback with Teela and He-Man. They're on a pirate ship, and both of them are handcuffed. Sorry, guys. Oh, yawning again. They're handcuffed by Merman and his goons, and Merman makes some comment about taking the sword of power out of He-Man's cold dead hands, which, okay, but the sword is still in his scabbard, untouched. If he's chained up and he's not resisting, which He-Man could easily break those cuffs, why not take the sword from him right then and there? That didn't make any sense whatsoever. It's like these writers, they don't think, you know? They get paid millions of dollars for these round table writing sessions, and yet you don't even think to have have Skeletor, have Skeletor and Merman take the sword out of the scabbard. Why wait till he's dead? He's not resisting, so take the sword from him. God, that was stupid. Then when they finally throw him in the water, Duncan shows up and he shoots the handcuffs. When He-Man could have just broke the cuffs right then and there. I mean, that didn't make any sense. And so, after the flashback ends, you've got Teela, Andra, and Evil-Lyn. Sorry, y'all. Gosh, still yawning. They're walking through the woods, cutting down vines and crap. And if you go back to episode 1 episode 1, Teela was bragging about how much of a battle wizard she was and how much she was a tactician and all this kind of crap. And yet, as they're walking through the woods, somebody is following them. Okay, so she's all this and all that, but yet she's not paying attention to her surroundings. Goes to show how much of a lame battle tactician she is. So it was cool to see Beastman, he's whipped some tail, you know, he, so I did like that. And he joins the party. He threatens Merman and everything. So, and when they finally meet up with Duncan at his house, he's just a shell of his 80s self. He turns his back on his friends, Eternia, and says, "Oh, I'm not going to help out, blah, 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 blah." Then all of a sudden, Roboto shows up. He talks some sense into him. And this really shows what this series is. It's fans fiction garbage. Just like Creed. Fans fiction nonsense. Then Orko shows up and he's all sick and dying because magic is being erased from the world and he needs magic to survive and blah, blah, blah. And, oh gosh. Sorry, y'all. This show is putting me to sleep. Gosh, I swear. Then Evelyn and Orko, they talk a little bit, and Orko says, "Hey, let me go on your little adventure to heaven to find the pieces of swords." And Evelyn goes, "Well, no, you can't even walk." And Orko says, "I don't need to walk. I can float." Okay, you've never walked. So all of us, why'd you have to bring that up? Orko has never grown legs and walked in all the 100 and however many episodes of the 80s version. He's always floated. So why bring that in? Why was Evelyn even going to bring that up? That was just a pointless line of dialogue that made zero sense whatsoever. And then Duncan was almost about to tell, he almost told Tila that Sorceress was her mom, but Evelyn stops him. So, and I'm thinking, if Evelyn got mad about everybody keeping secrets from her, how would she would have taken if Duncan would have told her, "Hey, by the way, Sorceress is your mama"? If she got mad because everybody got mad, because everybody kept the secret of Adam and He-Man from her, how do you think she would have felt if she would have found out that Sorceress was her mama? I don't know. This whole series is garbage, man, from the word go. It's just a mess of a series that just should have never been made. A part of me don't even want to finish up episode 4 and 5. But I'm going to do it just because. So that's pretty much it. Another boring episode. The only cool parts was we saw Duncan do some cool stuff. We saw Beastman fight some guys off. And we saw Merman, even though he was a bad guy, it was still cool to see him, And how come Merman can now talk normal now? There's no gurgling in his voice or anything, but whatever. Okay, this is pretty much it. 9 minutes on. There's nothing much to add to it. So that's the end of episode 3, guys.